How you doing there, my friends? This is Bill MacDonald, the reading and writing doctor, here to serve your English language arts reading and writing needs. I know that many of you are trying to get ready for the reading tests that are coming up in May for 3rd through 8th grade, as well as math. So today I'm going to record a 6th through 8th video that you'll be seeing right now, followed by a 3rd through 5th grade reading video. And then I'm going to, with my common sense math, post a math video. Then I'm going to take a break to go play golf with some friends of mine. I hope that you enjoy today's lesson. Remember that anything you see in the test, for those of you who purchased it, you should have received the graphic organizers, the writing folder, the advanced ELAR writing folder. You should have received digital copies of that. And what I'll do at no extra cost for all of you, anyone who purchases the any of the math or reading tests from now until the test will get the binder in the which covers reading, writing, editing, and revising as a digital copy. And I'll also, for the math, include my math posters, my mathematics charts, along with whatever test that you need. So let's take a look at today's question that it has to do with inferencing about a mother in a poem based on one line. So when I say one line, if you think of reading as a hand for the passage, the poem, the play, the selection, and an arm for the simpler questions, they're at the very bottom of my graphic organizer. You see the word word. Whenever they're only asking you what a word means in reading, those are the simplest ones because you just have to see in context, as you see there, or in the dictionary, if it's not in your brain, the definition of what the word means, how it's being used, the part of speech that's being used possibly. The one we're going to look at today has to do with a phrase. Whenever there's only one line in a play, it's not even usually a complete sentence. It's just a group of words. And so your kids who struggle should probably do all the questions that have to do with asking about the definition of a word or the meaning based on a phrase or one line before they do any of the harder questions. And so, yes, that means that I feel that by all means, your students should skip around and cover questions that are easier to handle to build their confidence level. So let's take a look at it. This is for you 6th through 8th grade teachers. I got this one question based on question number 36 of the 6th grade test. This inferencing was able to get 59% on the test. So basically revealing about a mother on one line is like drawing a conclusion. So we're going to be able to decide that she has some great plans for the family. And since great is an opinion and it's a positive opinion, we would check and see if she has a positive attitude and positive plans. But as I write here, the plans that she writes about in stanza 1 are placed in God's hands. So it doesn't sound like she's talking about her plans. It's talking about, regardless of what your plans are, they're in God's hands. Letter G says that she believes that God is to blame, since that's a negative belief. Okay. I'm going to cross off that word blame because I'll show you in line 5 and the previous lines. I use red for the question in this case. And then when we back up, we'll use yellow. If we have to move forward, we'll use green. So we have a red monkey. And so they're not even asking about a whole stanza. The question sentence S is only asking about one line. She's a woman who relies on her faith. Okay. Since the title actually mentions faith, fate, and family, it's entirely true that somebody who has written a poem with that title could have that as their SOB, their state of being or their state of mind. So if you are watching this video and you need some more state of being or state of mind ideas, I have 2 posters in the binder, and I just message me or email me for the state of being, state of mind posters, and I'll send them to you for free. The last one says that she believes that. Let's see what she believes. People should prepare and plan for their future accordingly. Now, that part is true, but the part that makes it untrue is that we have to make sure that those beliefs, that state of being or state of mind is coming from her head, not just our heads, because we all believe that people should plan for the future accordingly. And what happens, a lot of students read something and say, oh yeah, that's true. Well, if this is 2 pieces of a puzzle, then this part is true, but it can only be the answer if we can infer that she believes that based on line 5. So I'm going to go back to the passage where I have highlighted line 5 in red for you, where she says, it was part of a longer, grander plan, maybe one that belonged to God. So a plan that belongs to God. It doesn't talk about her making plans, the things that before yellow backing up or going forward. My mother tells me this as we fold laundry. So always have your kids highlight what's being asked about in red or with their red pencil, what they need to look at before in yellow to back it up, and to go forward in green. Everything happens for a reason, my mother says. Then she tells me how may people believe in, then she tells me how may people believe in fate and destiny. I'm supposed to have a many there. That everything that ever happened or was going to happen could be avoided, could not be avoided. In other words, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. The marchers down south just didn't end up starting their marching. It was all a plan of God. So if she's saying that, then you can more assume that she's a person who relies on her faith. If she's mentioning that our plans are in God's hands, that's her personal state of being, her personal state of mind. So I circled woman because she is a woman. Oh, another mistake that I saw there. Woman, we need to be singular. So since many of you are going to be getting some editing questions, that's 2 things that you can talk to your kids about. Change women to woman, a woman. And if you email me, I'll fix that today and send you an edited version of that. And that may to many. She relies on her faith. And so since it doesn't talk about our own plans at all in any of the before and after lines, then I think the best answer would be letter H, and we would eliminate the other 3. And so we have done what we did the last time. We've read the question and found it in the passage. We've underlined and labeled in the question in the passage. We've eliminated 3 answers, and we selected the 2 answers that we're going to pick. So a person who relies on her faith is her character. Also, as I mentioned, her state of being or her state of mind. So depending on your situation, they say that life is only 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. So the extended discussion here could be, what is it that sometimes might affect a person adversely, something negative that could happen, that because you're relying on your faith in God, your destiny, your uh, family, and everything about it is totally dependent on a belief in something or someone outside yourself. So um, there's lots of examples that you could use with your students on that. So that's how I would kind of look at that. And I think maybe having the state of being, state of mind posters, they are in the binder. If you have the binder, I'll go ahead and post the 2 pages that you can find that on. You'll see that in the post uh, so that you won't have a hard time looking for it when you're talking about the state of a person's mind or their state of being when things happen to them. So please do me a grand favor and share or like this. If you are watching this and you haven't purchased the 6th through 8th high school or 3rd through 5th practice reading test, I know that the high school already took theirs, but pretty soon you'll be preparing for the retest that will happen in June. And that one also has to include editing and revising. So let me take a moment to quickly address how you can um, cover, for those of you that are struggling, you can practice capitalization and punctuation by doing this. Capital, what does line 5 reveal about the mother, question mark? Since it's talking about the mother, we don't use capitalization. What you might also do is to recognize question starters, you could have them underline the capital W 3 times, first word in a sentence, and um, we could come up with a name for the mother since her name is not mentioned, just the speaker's name, Jacqueline, which is the daughter that we find out in the instructions. Um, Reveal is happening like at this time. So um, I would probably say does is present tense, did is past tense, mother singular, uh, mothers plural, mother apostrophe s would be singular possessive where I would own the next word. Mothers plural apostrophe means that more than one mother owns something. So since we're talking about singular, singular noun, common, those are the kind of things that I would quickly mention if I was trying to address the possible 6 editing questions that your kids are going to get. So that's how you would do that, where you can still focus heavily on your reading, but touch on editing, revising. What sentence could be added to show, to support the idea that the mother relies on her faith? And so that would come from your own kid's head. After reading the poem, you could add an example or a detail of something that she might say or do or think because she is a person of faith. And so that's called revising, when you're adding, removing, replacing, or moving the content. That way you can technically fill 3 birds with 1 stone to prepare your students for the ER, the emergency room of editing and revising. That will be for probably about half of your students. Will get on the field test 6 editing questions in 1 passage, or 2 shorter passages with 3 questions each on revising. So there you have it. Take care. God bless.